Ali was a musical mentor. He was a giant, and when I first met him, he was like, "Hey, you little young guy, you don't know nothing about music. Let me teach you. Let me tell you how to play and all this kind of stuff." And he sat down at the keyboard and showed me the songs. I had never heard any of the songs on for the play, and he came in and showed me the basics of them, and I took him and went, further with him. But his musical experience was great, and he was very funny. He loved us as if we were his nephews, and he just treated us with so much kindness and respect and passion. And we're definitely gonna miss him. It was a real hurt to hear that he passed away on Memorial Day, and it took us to heart. So we give much props to Ali. We love him to death, and we'll never forget him.
I know Ollie Woodson, I think the longest of anybody here. He's a very good friend of mine. I hated to see him suffering so I know he's at peace now. I celebrate him. I don't mourn him. I'm celebrating him because he was one of the last great voices of the century. He, Luther Vandross, Dennis Edwards, of that kind of singing, that style of R&B singing, inimitable and a gracious man.
Ollie Woodson was one strong singer. He brought a lot to the game. His discipline over the years was excellent, and to just be in his presence and the experience of working around him was just phenomenal.
Favorite memories? I have a couple. One of them is after the scene where he talked about, where he does his, he has this big line about, what is it, the stepfather, the daddy who stepped up. He'd come backstage and we'd be sitting there ready to turn around with Trish and I, and he would do this little hand thing. And so we'd come by and do his little hand thing every time. And then he was the nicest guy, and he was the definition of cool. And he, from the beginning, he was very supportive of me and him and his wife, and they were so nice, and they touched my life a lot just working with them, for sure.
Ali was the best. One of my favorite moments with Ali was actually not during the showtime, but actually outside of showtime, when he and a very good friend of mine, who actually did work together back in the touring days of Ali, we all sat down and just reminiscing about all the time. Ali was a great person.
Ali was a great guy. He was so talented. He was very unique. He had a swagger that I've never seen. You see people on TV that act like the pimp had, but he was actually that. Like, he had the furry hats and furry coats, and like it'd be 110 degrees, but he's still gonna come out with the furry hats and furry coat. But he was one of the most talented guys and one of the best singers I've ever met. He's very soulful in his singing, so he's taught us a great deal. He used to always come back and crack jokes with us, and even after he was saying if you do a great job, we might be walking around in a circle just cutting up because he did such a great job. And he's, like I said, he's taught us so much. His spirit was always funny, which when he passed, of course, it was a great hurt to us. But at the same time, as I remember correctly, I know he lived a great life. Like, he had fun every day. Last time that I saw him, I actually went to church with him, and I rode with him in the car, just me and him, and he just let me hear a bunch of his music. And we had a great relationship. So I definitely love Ali, and as far as I'm concerned, as long as I live, I always keep his name ringing in whatever I do. So big ups to Ali. We love you and we miss you.
Ali was, just fantastic. He was a fantastic guy. I remember my first impression of him when he joined the cast, and I didn't know who he was. I didn't recognize him, from the Temptations. But if you saw the way that Ali was, he was somebody. Like the way that he's put together, just to the T, everything, to the T. And from wardrobe perspective, yeah, I love the way Ali was. Always clean, always dressed, always fragrance, everything, definitely. That's one of my fond memories about Ali. And the other one was the show that he did, the song that he did in the show. If you heard him sing that song, it would be very difficult to hear someone else sing that song, you know, because his voice was just angelic. And I know that God is probably very happy right now because he's probably singing up there, you know.
Definitely.
But definitely Ali will be missed.
Wow. I met Ali years ago. I used to sing with an R&B group called As Yet, and because I've done theater for so many years as well, you know, Ali being in Detroit, I've shared the stage with him at a place called Floods and other performances and concerts, and good brother to know. We sat down and talked a lot, we hung out a lot, we laughed, you know, we shared some very serious moments together. He gave me words of wisdom in my own personal life, and I'm just grateful to even to say I know about it. Yeah, God, it was a blessing that God allowed him to be in my life. And tremendous.
This one for you, Ali.